Hello, in this video I'll give you a walkthrough of how to migrate your existing website to an AWS EC2 instance in free tier. For the purpose of this video, I will be doing the migration on a WordPress website and I will be using BigRock as my shared hosting provider. So these are the steps that we will be performing as part of this migration. The website that I will be migrating is udaymittal.com. This is my personal blog, and as you can see here that it has been a while since I have last posted on this blog, so it makes it a good candidate to be shifted to AWS EC2 instance and offloaded from my shared hosting account. So let's start with the first step. So we'll need to back up the database of this website. To do that, we'll go to cPanel, and first we need to identify the database which is associated with this website. So to do that, we'll open Softalicious apps installer, and here you can click on the installations option to see the existing installations. So this is the website that I want to migrate. So I'll click on edit, and here you can see the database name and the database username. So I'm just going to copy this and let me launch Sublime Text if I have that available. Alright, so Sublime Text has launched. I'll paste this name here and then I'll go to cPanel again. To do that, I'll need to go to press this option, go to Control Panel, and let's go to PHP My Admin now. And here I'll select this database, which was this WP981, and if I can verify it from here, yes, it is the same database. Now all we need to do is go to export and press go, then save the file. So this will save this SQL file in the downloads directory of my Ubuntu machine. Next, we need to take a backup of our WordPress installation, and to do that, I will go to cPanel again, and this time I'll go to File Manager, and let's go to public_html and find the website that we want to migrate. This is the website that I want to migrate, udaymittal.com. I'll select it and then I'll right click it, and then I'll select compress option to create a zip archive and then compress files. Alright, so it has created a zip file for this directory, so I'll just close this and let's find the zip file now. This is the zip file that we have just now created. You can verify it with the timestamp. Now I'm going to right click it and select download to download the zip file on my local machine. So since this is 152 MB file, depending on the internet speed, it will take some time to download. So this file has downloaded and it is again available in the downloads directory of this Ubuntu machine. So I'm going to minimize this window. Now to create an AWS EC2 instance, you need an AWS account. I'm going to assume for this video that you already have an account. So after logging into a AWS management console, it will look something like this. Here you will need to go to services and select EC2. Here select instances, and to create a new AWS EC2 instance, select launch instance, and in this you'll need to choose an Amazon machine image. So Amazon provides pre-built images for various operating systems and with various configurations. We are interested in Bitnami's LAMP stack configuration. So I'm going to search here for Bitnami LAMP, and you can see that there are 3 results in AWS Marketplace. I'm going to select it. So it shows up 3 images. We are interested in this one, LAMP certified by Bitnami. You also need to check what are the charges for using this AMI. Here it says 0.00 per hour, so that means it's free. And you will also need to check if it is free tier eligible, else you might be charged for using that particular AMI. So we are going to select it, and here it shows the rate of using this AMI on various type of instances. So we are interested in the rate for T2 micro instance, and here it says that the software part costs $0. However, EC2 instance might cost you $0.012 per hour. Do not worry about this, since we'll be using a free tier account. We already have a T2 micro instance that is available in free tier. So we are just going to continue with this, and here you need to select this general purpose T2 micro instance, which is free tier eligible. Next, press configure instance details. Here you need to ensure that auto assign public IP is either set to enable or use subnet setting enabled. Then next, add storage. You can change the size of this instance to 16 GB. So that is what I prefer because I will be hosting multiple websites on this particular instance. So I prefer it to be 16 GB. You can choose any other value of your own choice. Next, let's add tags. We are not going to add any tags. Next, let's configure security groups. Now, since we will be hosting a website on it, we need to ensure that port 80 and 443 are allowed. So if you see these rules as they are shown here, you need not make any changes. However, if these rules pertaining to port 80 and 443 are not available in your page, you can just go ahead and create them by pressing this button add rule, and then from here select HTTP, and port range will be automatically filled, and then this is the IP range that will be pre-filled for you. So this way you can create a new rule if one does not already exists in your case. And then you can press review and launch to create an EC2 instance. It will ask you to create a key pair. If you don't already have a key pair, you can create a new key pair, or if you already have an existing key pair, you can use that key pair to log into your AWS EC2 instance. Now I'm going to cancel this here because I already have a running instance. So now that we have a running instance, let's go to that instance. Our next step is to update the A record for this domain name in the DNS manager of a shared hosting provider. For that, we need the public IP address of this AWS EC2 instance, and you can select it from here. And I'll just copy it and paste it in Sublime Text for my records. Now, I'm not using Route 53 to manage the DNS services for this particular domain. I have already configured DNS records for this domain on my shared hosting provider. So I'm going to use the DNS manager that is provided by my shared hosting provider. Now to access that DNS manager, I need to go to cPanel, and here let's go to zone editor, and let's find a domain which is remethil.com. Click on manage, and this is the A record that I want to change. So I'll edit it and paste the IP address of my AWS EC2 instance and then save it. Now our next step is to log in to the AWS EC2 instance and create the directories for this particular domain. To do that, let me just open this folder here, which is with the same domain name. So this is my personal work desk folder in which I have created a directory called Uday Mittal, and let's launch a terminal here. And here we'll use the command ssh -i to specify the key file name, which is this. I'll copy this and put quotes and paste this key file name and then close the quotes. And then we'll need the host name for our AWS EC2 instance. So to find that out, we'll go to AWS console again and select connect. So this is the command that we are going to use to log in to this EC2 instance. Since we have already built this part, I just need this part, or rather part from here. The username with which we'll be logging into this instance is Bitnami in this case. So we are not going to use the Ubuntu username. So I'll type Bitnami here first and then paste the remaining part. Then press enter. Yes. So it says that permission is denied with this key pair because there are bad permissions. Not a problem. What I need to do is log into my local Ubuntu machine as a sudo user or as a super user, and then change the permission for this file to 400. And now let's try to log in. Alright, so this time we are able to log in into this machine, and you can verify that we are into our AWS EC2 instance. If you see this art, so it says Bitnami here, and also you can verify it from these messages. So I'm going to clear this window. So now let's create the directories for hosting our website in this instance. To do that, I'll go to the opt Bitnami folder, and in that I'll navigate to Apache 2. I think I misspelled it, so let me go back to Apache 2 and then htdocs folder, and here I'll create a directory with this website name, which is com. Then I'll navigate into this directory and create two subdirectories, conf and htdocs. So the conf directory will hold certain configuration files that are need to set up my virtual host, and the htdocs directory will hold the WordPress files. So if I do a ls, I'll be able to see these two directories. Next, we need to create certain configuration files in the conf folder. So for that, I'm going to use the existing configuration files that are available in my other website folder, which is ElliteDevs.in, and I'll go to conf folder here, and you can see that there are two configuration files that exist, httpdapp.conf and httpdvhosts.conf. So I'm going to copy these files to the conf file in udaymittal.com directory. So to do that, I'll specify the path /. So I have to go to two folders back, and then I'll find a folder called udaymittal.com, and in this there'll be a folder called conf, and I want to paste these files here. So I press enter. I guess the space here got deleted. Let me just issue this command. Alright, so I think it has copied now. Let's go to that directory and verify. And let's do an ls and cd udaymittal.com. Now if I do ls, there will be two directories, conf and htdocs. I'll change to conf directory, and these are the two files here that I have just created. Now we need to edit this file for this particular domain name. So let me first maximize my terminal. Let's clear it. We'll do a ls, and now let's edit the first file, which is the httpd app.conf, and we'll use nano for that. So the command is nano httpd app.conf, and in this file we'll just need to replace this directory name from ElliteDevs.in to udaymittal.com, or to the name of the directory that you have created. So that was the only change that we need to make in this file. So I'll press Ctrl X, and I'll press Y to save the changes, and then enter to write it to the file. Similarly, I'll edit the vhosts file, and here I'll specify the server name as udaymittal.com instead of ElliteDevs.in. In your case, you can put the website name which you are migrating. Similarly, in the server alias, you change it from ElliteDevs.in to udaymittal.com. Similarly, in the document root, we need to update the path with the directory of the website that we have just created. In our case, it is udaymittal.com. In your case, it could be the name of the directory that you had created. And finally, in this line also, we need to update the path of the app configuration file, and we just need to update this directory name from ElliteDevs.in to method.com. So that were all the changes that we need to make to this file. So I'll press Ctrl X, Y, and enter to save this file. Next change that we need to make is to the Bitnami vhosts configuration file. So we'll essentially need to tell it to include this vhosts file, and that file is located in opt bitnami apache 2 configuration folder. So let's navigate to that. So cd conf and cd bitnami, and here there is a file called bitnami apps vhosts.conf. So we are going to edit this file, and here we need to add a line which is similar to the above lines, that is include opt bitnami apache 2 docs method.com. And now let's try to restart Apache server. So I'll issue this command again. And this time you can see that Apache server has been restarted at port 80. Our next task is to copy the WordPress zip file that we had copied from our shared hosting account to this AWS EC2 instance. Now in order to do that, so I'll just give the command exit, and that downloaded file is in my downloads folder. So let me copy it to this udemy directory. I'll open the downloads directory here and copy this file and the SQL file from here. Then I'll go to documents, work disk, and udemy. Then paste these two files here. Now I'll go back to the terminal again, and this time I'll use the scp command to copy this zip file from my local machine to the AWS EC2 instance. So the command is scp -i and then the key name. So in our case it is ElliteDevs key pair 2.pem, and then we'll need to specify a source file which is udemy.com.zip in our case, and then the destination directory in which we want to place that file. So for that we need to specify it with the host name. So I'll write bitnami first, and then let's go to our AWS management console and copy this part again, and I paste it. Then I put a colon and specify home bitnami directory. So depending on the net speed, it will take some time to upload this file to the AWS EC2 instance. So it took about 6.5 minutes to upload a 152 MB file. Now, in order to extract this zip file and copy our WordPress files to the relevant directory, we need to log in to the AWS EC2 instance again. So we'll do that using the ssh command. And let me just clear the window. And if I do a ls here, you'll see that this is the file that we have just uploaded. Now let's extract this file using unzip command. Right. So let's clear the window first. Now let's do an ls. So you can see that this directory has now been created. So let's move into this directory. So I'll do cd udemy.com, and here I want to copy all the files from this directory to opt Bitnami, Apache 2, htdocs, htdocs directory. So let's verify if the files have been copied. So I'll navigate to this directory cd and I'll use this path that is already there, and if I do an ls here, so you can see that the files are here. Our next step is to upload the database to our AWS EC2 instance. Now Bitnami AMI instances do not provide access to phpMyAdmin over the internet. You can only access phpMyAdmin via localhost. Now in order to access phpMyAdmin on a Bitnami instance, you'll need to create a SSH tunnel. To do that, we'll first exit from this connection and we'll use the same SSH command but with two more flags. First is hyphen capital N and the second is hyphen capital L. And then we'll specify an argument 8888 and 127.0.0.0.1.80. Using this command, a tunnel will be created on port 8888. So essentially what it means is that any traffic that I will send on my local machine on port 8888 will get redirected to the AWS EC2 instance to its local host on port 80. So that is all that we are doing here. So I press enter to run this command and you will see no output. However, if you go to the browser and you navigate to 127.0.0.1 port 8888 and phpMyAdmin, you should be able to see a phpMyAdmin console which is hosted on the AWS EC2 instance. Now you will need credentials to log into the phpMyAdmin console, and you can find those credentials in the AWS EC2 instance itself. So let me create another SSH connection to our Amazon instance, and if I do a quick ls here, you can see that there is a file called bitnami credentials. So the password to log in into your phpMyAdmin is in this file. So I'm going to pause this video and copy the password. Alright, so I have the password now and let's log in. So we are into the phpMyAdmin console that is hosted on the AWS EC2 instance. Now the first thing that we need to do is to create a user on this server, and this user needs to be the same user as it was there in the original website. You can choose to create a new username and a new password itself. That is not a problem. The only additional step that you need to do in that case is to edit your WP config file with the relevant details. So I'll click on user accounts and I'll click on add user account, and in the username text field I'll paste the username, and in the password field I'll use the same password that my WordPress installation was using to connect to the MySQL server on the shared hosting account. So let me pause this video and copy that password. So I've copied the password. Now we need to select this option which will create a database with the same name and grant all privileges. That way we'll need not create a database separately and then handle permissions separately. And now I'll press go. Don't want to save this password. And now in order to upload that SQL file or to restore that database, I'll go to this database, select import, and then browse to that file which is in my documents, workdesk, method, and here, and I'll press go. So you can see that this database has been successfully restored. Now it's time for a final step, that is to access the website and see if it is working or not. So to do that, I'll go to udaymittal.com again, and if it's working, that means all the steps that we have taken so far have worked perfectly. Alright, so looks like our website is alive and that it has been successfully hosted on AWS EC2 Instance. To verify this, you can just copy this and then go back to your terminal, and we don't need this connection anymore, so I'm going to stop it, and you can do a quick ns lookup, and this time I'll manually type method.com. So you can see that it has returned this IP address, which is same as that of our AWS EC2 instance, and you can verify it from the AWS console, which is here. This IP address are same. So that means that this website is now being served from our AWS EC2 instance and not from a shared web hosting provider. Then lastly, I like to talk about some things that you need to keep in mind if you are doing this migration. Now, first of all, as you might have noticed that you'll miss the ease of a cPanel if you're hosting your website on AWS EC2 instance. Though you can again install cPanel on AWS EC2 instance, but then you have to do that manually. With shared hosting provider, it comes pre-installed, and cPanel makes it really easy to manage a website. With the way that we have shown using AWS EC2 instance, you'll have to do it all manually. The second thing that you need to keep in mind that the free tier is available only for 1 year. Once your free tier expires, you can either shift your website back to your shared hosting provider, or you can simply create another AWS account and then get a free tier there for another 12 months and shift your entire EC2 instance to that particular account. And I will show you how to do that in a later video. Now you can also use Route 53, that is Amazon's DNS managing service, to manage your DNS for this particular website or any website that you are migrating in this manner. However, do note that you'll need to pay for this server, though the charge is minimal, but still you'll have to pay for using Route 53. And then lastly, a free tier AWS EC2 instance is only good for websites that have a low footfall or low traffic. So if your website has heavy traffic or has high bandwidth usage, using a free tier AWS EC2 instance might not be a good idea. You might want to go for a paid instance with appropriate configurations. The process for migration will remain same as we have shown here. So that was all I had for this video. Thank you for watching this video, and do visit our website ElliteDevs.in for more information on the services that we provide. If you want to reach out to us for any support or any inquiries, you can mail us at contact@ElliteDevs.in.